This is the Suzhou Auto Show happening right now. This is the Tianjin Auto Show happening right now. This is the Hefei Auto Show happening right now. There's so many customers, they all want to buy a NIO. Guys, people are learning the cold hard truth the painful way. And that is the fact that when you buy a EV that's not a NIO, you are going to suffer from those long charging wait times and those charging pile lineups. Absolutely insane, because right now, all right, we have the national holiday here in China. That means people are on vacation, the highways are free, people are traveling around, but one thing is very apparent, and it is the fact that at the highway resting areas, all the charging stations are filled to the brim, and charging times are absolutely insane. The waiting lineups are absolutely insane. You gotta wait like maybe 2-3 hours just to get to your spot. And then when you're charging, because everybody else is also charging, your charging capacity, your charging speed is also reduced and lowered because of the fact that everybody's charging, right? So your individual output, the amount of electricity you're getting, has to be shared with all those other EVs. So they're learning the hard way that going on these vacations with EV is just a huge pain in the butt. Meanwhile, with NIOs, of course, highway swap stations, they got over 800 of those all over China. And for most places, big cities to big cities, you can go all the way just with battery swapping. And of course, with battery swapping, 3 minutes and you're gone. And before the next NIO comes, you're already gone, because it only takes 3 minutes. Whereas compared to other guys, all right, because of the lineups 1 to 2 hour, charging time another hour. So you're waiting 3 to 4 hours just to top up your battery. So that's just a huge painful experience. And these guys are learning the cold hard truth that you gotta buy a car that can do battery swap. And what's really amazing about these highway resting areas is that while these guys are charging and they're suffering from those long wait times and people cutting in line, because you got to line up, right? And you got to physically line up. And if you don't move the car forward, somebody's going to cut in line, because, everybody wants to get to their destination quicker. So you got to, be alert and be on the move. And you can't even afford to go to the bathroom. But all these guys are just, in this high tense, intense kind of situation, and they're seeing battery swap come and swap and go, come and swap and go. And of course, on that swap station, it says, hey, charging takes an hour, swap only takes 3 minutes. Just another salt on the wound to all other EV owners that, your next car has to be a NIO, basically. And of course, that doesn't just apply for EVs. There's also hybrids, all right, hybrids like EREVs, especially EREVs, when they're going on highway. And if you guys were not aware of the major flaw of EREVs, if your battery is low and you're using gasoline, your gasoline generator doesn't generate enough electricity to sustain a high energy output and going at that high speed. So what that happens is when your battery is low, then your speed limited, because you don't have the generator doesn't output enough electricity. So you can't go fast when you're in that kind of situation. So EREVs also have to charge up, even though they have gasoline. And they also have to endure this long wait time, this long charging time, and also because their inverter isn't as capable as pure EVs, they gotta even wait longer, even longer than most EVs. So that's kind of crazy to think about. All right. So people are learning the hard way that battery swap is the way to go. And of course, as more people know about this, and NIO CEO has said this in the past, that gasoline vehicle owners, their best choice is, of course, a NIO, because battery swap is comparable to getting gasoline, right? Similar time, but actually even more convenient than getting gasoline. But even if they don't choose that, all right, they choose a halfway product like EREV. Well, EREV owners' next car is either a NIO, most likely a NIO, or a pure EV. All right, and then an EV owner's next vehicle, because of these kind of situations with long charge times and waiting in line and just seeing a NIO come swap and go, their next vehicle is also most likely a car that can do battery swap. And you already know, like a lot of, I've seen on other content creators' live streams that a lot of existing early BYD owners and EV owners, first gen EV owners, they're switching to an ONVO or a NIO because of battery swap, simply because of battery swap. So that just tells you people know. People are starting to become aware of battery degradation, of long charging wait times and that kind of stuff. Eventually, the industry is all going to have to adopt battery swap with all those battery swap partners. And of course, NIO is going to be very successful in the future. Now, in terms of sales and what's going on here in China, you got 3 different auto shows happening at the same time. I'm not kidding you. You got the Anhui Auto Show, Hefei Auto Show, and I'll roll the clips for all these. You can see they're all super, super packed. Lots and lots of people. So Hefei Auto Show, you got the Suzhou Auto Show, which is also a very big city right next to Shanghai. They also sell a ton of cars. Right? They sell a ton of cars. And then also you got the Tianjin Auto Show, which is really close to Beijing as well. So 3 different auto shows, all with a NIO house, NIO's full lineup of vehicles, and also, of course, a swap station to showcase, educate people about battery swap so that they can buy a car with battery swap. Or even if they don't, even if they can't afford it, they at least know about battery swap, how this is revolutionary. It's the next stage in terms of automobile development. Now we got to talk about the stock as well, guys. So of course we had that pullback yesterday, kind of might have spooked some people. All right, it went down to 6.5-ish, but of course we're coming back up. And a very important message for all people that are considering or attempting to take profits or maybe sell a little bit of stock or that kind of stuff. I'm not going to try to stop you, but I'm going to tell you what happened to most NIO owners back in 2020, 2019. So of course, most NIO owners back then, they know that this company is fantastic, and back then the stock price was like 1-ish. So a lot of NIO owners did indeed buy the stock back then. It was $1-ish, right? They 3x their money, went up to 5, and then they sold out because damn, 3x, man. Yeah, they sold out. But of course, after that, NIO stock more than 10x'd, right? From $5 all the way up to $60, right? And they missed out on most of that gain. A lot of NIO owners were in chat groups talking about this. Nobody anticipated that the stock price went up that much. And they were actually like pretty shocked. And they were at first very happy with a 3x gain. And I'm sure most of you guys will be pretty happy with a 20% or a 30% or 50% gain on your holdings. And you'd be tempted to sell out. But you have to make sure that if you do sell, all right, you are willing to accept the fact that the stock price could go another 10x from here. And then you got to be willing to accept the fact that if it 10x's, you're not going to be jealous. All right. So that's something that you got to swallow. What is more dangerous? All right. The fact that you picked the right investment and then you chose to just take profits early and miss out on 10x or 20x, or the fact that you were scared that the stock might drop. So you put in all that hard work to choose the right investment, to invest in NIO. Even the government thinks that NIO is a great investment, the Hefei government, essentially. And we're all choosing NIO. Yes, it's the right investment, but are you tempted to take the stock, to sell early, to take profits early? That's something you got to live with, right? If I sell now and it 10x's from here, you can't feel bad. All right. If you're at that stage, like, hey, sure. Well, then why don't you just take some profit then? All right. But of course, for most of us, we know that, ONVO deliveries just started. The deliveries are probably going to most likely almost double by the end of this year in December. Next year, deliveries are going to be about triple from where it is right now, maybe up to 50, 60,000 with the three big brands, NIO, Onvo, Firefly, all those brands delivering vehicles. So you could be looking at 50,000, 60,000 monthly deliveries. What is that going to do to the stock price? All right. So that's something to think about. Are you willing to hang on to your investment to reap the benefits long term, or are you going to be impatient? Something to think about. All right. I'm not saying you shouldn't take profits. I'm just saying if you do take profits, don't feel bad if the stock 10x's from here. So that's just something to think about. As always, stay safe, stay healthy. Peace out.